What's going on, y'all? It's Jason More Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Very happy to bring you guys my recap of the Traffic 5 event. For those of you that follow me on Twitter, by the way, for anyone new that followed me because of my updates for this event, happy to have you guys here. Tons of content. Hopefully you guys are going through the little the catacombs right now of the history stuff, but always doing day-to-day battle rap stuff. And this is my Traffic 5 recap covering the top 5 performers on the card. I did have the pleasure of being in the building, thus the in the building updates. And this was honestly, I think, a card of the year contender. Now, I know it's hard to gauge until I've seen it on camera, because for anyone that's been to an event, you can have not even the best card and still have a great event. I mean, people that went to Battle of the Bayou, for instance, that footage ended up being cooked, but everyone will tell you that experience was great in the building, and that's really how it is in most events. If you guys haven't been to one before, I highly encourage you going. Battle rap can be considered a toxic place, but at events, it's really nothing but love and people just wanting to chop it up and discuss battle rap. So, with all that being said, the Traffic 5 card, like I said, was really, really good. And traditionally, for my recaps, I've started doing 3 most impressive performances and 3 most disappointing performances. But truly, this card was well-rounded with at least 3 to 4 good to great battles on here. The only disappointing performance of the night, which I will say now, is I thought Tainted Demon just wasn't very good. His slow pace got really, really monotonous. Clearly, his breathing control... his breathing control and pace was a clear issue, and his material was decent, but not any groundbreaking, greatest tank material. So you got decent material, but with this very slow performance, and Loso, on one leg was kind of able to show levels there. But outside of that, there were so many good performances that I figured scrap the bottom 3. We are just going to rank the top 5 performers of the Traffic 5 card. And without further ado, let's get into the MCs that had the most elite showcases on the card. And real quick, before we get in the top 5, I know I do those weird cuts where I think I'm going to go right in the top 5, but there is a couple battles that none of the battlers involved are going to make this the top 5 list, which, like I said, there was way more good than bad, so I just want to shine a little bit of light on them real quick. First of all, Yoshi G versus RX. While I had it being a debatable, pretty okay battle, this ended up being a really good battle, to be honest with you. Competitive. Both of them got a round clear. Yoshi took the second clear, and RX would take the third clear. And the first is, pretty debatable and close. I edged Yoshi, but it really was a great showing from both. I think RX really flexed way better pace on delivery. On top of that, she rebutted a lot. She had a rebuttal to this witch bar. This bitch said I'm a witch, and I flew in with a sweeper. That was crazy. Rebuttal in the second. She had a rebuttal at the top of her third, too, that hit very, very crazy. I was not familiar with your game. No, I really did not know that RX could freestyle to that level. And that is part of what made this battle debatable, is her freestyling ability and being able to tack on that extra haymaker. But Yoshi was very, very layered in her pen and delivery. In the third round, she was rapping second, and RX took a personal angle, talking about her kids in the third round, and clearly it threw off Yoshi's pace a little bit. Which is something with Yoshi, it's a little bit too emotional, a little bit too affected by the material that she's hearing, and it could throw off her delivery. So that was really the only dip in the third from her. But like I said, she got the second clear, and the first came down to a buzzer beater type of haymaker. She had this really crazy gum scheme, which it sounds funny off rip, but if you hear it, it actually was really, really fire. It wasn't just naming a bunch of different gums straight up. It was, she really... you guys will see it for yourself. It's so hard when they have these layered pens to really quote it here perfectly for y'all and to do justice for their work. But great battle from both of the ladies. Jay the Nightwing versus Nun Nun had a decent battle. Mucky up, a little debatable. I thought Nun Nun's first is actually one of his best rounds of the year just in battle rap. Just for himself. It's not one of the best rounds across battle rap, but just speaking to Nun Nun, his first versus Jay was great. A lot of good name flips, a lot of good wing flips, which really made it great. And he took the first round clear. Jay had his best round of the battle in the third and took that round clear. And it really comes down to the second, where both of them just had a drop-off. They aren't terrible rounds, but they're very mucky. One would say mid rounds. So the second is a complete toss-up, debatable. I personally had it Jay 2-1. Not mad at someone having it Nun Nun 2-1. Just a solid debatable, which is kind of how I saw this battle playing out one way or another. And with that being said, I believe I already spoke on the Tink and Loso battle, so no need to speak on that. So now we can officially get into the top 5 performers. So At number 5, we have Saint. Saint making his URL debut here on Traffic 5. In a grudge match, obviously Chess versus Saint, two talents that have been compared and linked to battle for about 5 years now, dating back to Saint versus Geechee in the bunker. And although I did predict this to be Saint 2-1 clear, and that definitely did not play out, Saint still had a very, very good performance. I thought his first and his third were both great from a material standpoint. He did win the third clear. But I think across both of them, while he does have his one flow, his one go-to, so I do understand some of the critiques of it's a little redundant, it's a little bit of the same, but it puts a lot of pressure on him to write really good content that you can look through if you're bored by the cadence and still be like, man, that's fire. And I thought in the first and the third, and really for most of this battle, he did that. He had an incredible Pokemon scheme in the third that I really, really liked. A die in real life. Plenty of amazing chess name flips. I did quote the bars on Twitter. I'm not going to do too much of the bar quoting right here in this video, just because I still wanted to drop it for everyone to just get their own opinions on it. You know, sometimes I feel like I hear all the bars after, you know, just from Twitter on an app-only event. I get to the battle, and I'm like, damn, I kind of already saw the battle. So I don't have all the quotes here, but Saint, like I said, specifically in the first and the third was great. And one bar I do want to quote, it's this Mario Kart. I'm sending blue shells to whoever in first place. Thought that was fire. But like I said, overall great performance. I think that he had stumbles. He definitely had some near choke moments. Him and Chess both did, so it kind of canceled out in that respect. I think Chess got him on material, so it's his choking didn't lead to his loss, thankfully, but that's definitely something that has to be cleaned up because you're not always going to go against another op who is also, you know, prone to have some stumbles and slip-ups. But while I do think that he lost this battle, I think that he had a great performance. I didn't think there would be a situation that played out where Chess won and it still looked good for Saint, but that did. I'm still ready to see Saint versus more top-tier, higher-level opponents after this. And if he can, you know, consistently come like this and make small adjustments, we're looking at a future top-tier talent on URL for years to come. And then moving right along into number 4 best performer of the night is the counterpart of that battle, Chess. This is easily Chess's best performance of 2022. While even in the third, he experienced major turbulence, and even if Saint didn't have the greatest round, probably would have won it clear just because Chess had so many stumbles and just so much turbulence through that third. His first two are immaculate. Really performed his ass off. Great writing as usual. Now, what I will say, something I've been pretty common about, there was some people in that crowd, all right, particularly one gentleman over the right of us, who was a little bit behind us, that was losing it, you know, being a little shameless for Chess. So I'm not going to say that it is flat out gas, anything like that, because two things can be true. Chess's material was great, and he had a great performance. And there's a couple people in the crowd that were being a little bit ridiculous when he rapped. So I'm not about to take points away from Chess just because someone in the audience does not know how to behave themselves or wants to be the star of the show. So I just want to make that transparent, where I do think that the crowd reaction doesn't really tell the story, especially in the first. The crowd reaction is like by a big margin either way, but the round is close. I still comfortably edge that round to Chess. So I thought it was clear but close, if that makes any sense. There was still some separation shown, but he performed extremely well. You can be the Saint all you want, but this is the Prophet. He had a great, I mean, in terms of comparing himself as a talent to Saint and their different ranks, I think he did a great job of that versus Easy in his first round versus Easy. You spoke to P, I spoke to Beasley, and in a weird way, he kind of still was in that lane here, but versus Saint, and it was some of the best talk I think he had in the battle. He won the second crystal clear. There's nothing to debate about the second round. Saint definitely scared me for a minute there. I thought after a great first, dip in the second, maybe his confidence, you know, with the crowd, and I was, you know, afraid that maybe he would just dip out in the third too. So that's why it was so big for me to see Saint come back and take that third round clear and have great material. But like I said, I had Chess winning the second clear, and I had Chess comfortably edging the first, but both of the material was incredible in the first. I can't wait to see, you know, how the public views it. But like I said, the best chess performance so far of 2022, and a good bounce back for him, and it's why he's landed at number 4 best performer on the traffic card. So, cracking the top 3 performers of the night, at number 3, I have Bill Collector. Now, Bill Collector was obviously coming into an uphill fight, battling Rum Nitty, you know what I'm saying, in Arizona at that. Tough matchup, you know, impossible matchup really for a lot of people. I know that Bill has spoken on a lot of people turn this plate down at first. And he was the one who stepped up to the plate, and he showed up with really 3 great bill collector rounds. I think it was a great returning performance. I keep getting the words debut and all that get mixed up, but it is a great returning performance for Bill back on URL. I thought specifically his first round showed really good pace. Really great bar for bar action, particularly the one bar, which could really be bar of the first round. I mean, this is a bar fest, all types of different ways, but specifically with Bill, gun butt, whip the alien, it's a transformer. I like that. That shit was very good. And I think even in the second round, Bill was able to follow pace. I mean, if you're a Bill collector fan, he definitely got into the pockets that you'd like. In the first round, he really goes with the punching route. And then in the third round, he's able to lean even back more into the comedy and entertainer side of it. I really think overall that Bill had a great performance here. And while I don't have him, coming up on the winning side of the battle, I believe that Bill collector is still very dangerous for many top-tier opponents. And I can't wait to see, Bill's next few opponents, the JCs, the Rocks, hopefully, and what he's able to do. Because, like I said, this is a guy that can easily, night in, night out, on big cards, on whatever cards, Bill can fill in and give you great material versus any competition on any given night. And that's why I have him as number 3 on the best performers. So we get into the runner-up for the performer of the night, and for this one, we actually have a 2A, 2B. We have 2 guys tied for number 2, and that is because I have Sheed Happens and Kid Chaos as the number 2 performers of the night. And man, their battle to me was clearly battle of the night in terms of back and forth. Sheed's first is electric. Sheed's first 2 rounds are a statement that Sheed Happens is ready for all the next level of top level competition. What he did versus Chaos, specifically, like I said, in those first 2, from pacing to performance to the actual writing itself, this definitely, rivals his true foe rematch performance in UM5. I mean, chain haymakering at the highest ability. And when you see stuff like this, these are those flashes where it's like, this guy can be a star for years to come. This guy can compete with top tiers and be a top tier for years to come. So impressive. And after the first, even though Chaos had a decent first, Sheed clearly bodied the first round. And that's with going first. So even with the advantage of kind of going second, I feel like that, for the most part in battle rap, ends up being advantageous. Sheed was still able to get that first clear. Into the second, Sheed has another second. This McDonald's story that he told at the beginning of his second, you guys will see, was so special, a real bar of the night contender. And it all came down to pace, delivery, voice inflection. I mean, this guy's got it all. And it looked like it was going to be dark for Chaos. Chaos started the second with a Sheed impersonation, and that little bit of comedy and theatrics, while it wasn't a haymaker, it got the crowd to listen to him again. It got them to feel entertained. And from there, Chaos had one of the best rounds of his career, similar to his first round versus Chess, where it was just insane. His, I got something for all that trophy shit. Cases, that was incredible. That ended up being the bar that when he got to it after 4 to 5 haymakers, that I was like, yo, he might have snuck this round. It's going to be an extremely debatable second. I personally edged it to Kid Chaos, but after 2 rounds, I really thought this was going to classic territory. It was just on both of them to close out the third. And while they didn't have bad thirds, I didn't think either of them, completely seized the opportunity. I liked Chaos's third. I had Chaos winning the third clear, actually. Sheed brought a lot of real talk and drug talk, which I am, always a fan of, but while it was still good, there was some dry spots in there, which he just didn't exist before, his third round. And I thought Chaos was just hitting a little bit more efficiently, being able to punch, ankle punch. I mean, both of them showed that they are extremely well-rounded, unorthodox-styled battlers. I'm ready to see Kid Chaos and DNA, obviously the next big stop for him, but I'm ready to see Kid Chaos versus more top tiers. I think he is ready for that step. And as for Sheed, sky's the limit. I think that he even has a little bit of a ceiling that we don't quite know about yet that could go above the Chaos and a few others in battle rap. Really impressive. I ended up having Chaos 2-1 edge, but this battle is going to be so debatable, and at the end of the day, it is an extremely competitive and extremely high-quality battle, borderlining on classic, and that's why I felt like both of them deserved the runner-up spot here for the best performers on the card. And as for the number 1 performer of the night, we have to look towards the main event, and to me, it is clear that Rum Nitty was the best performer on Traffic 5. in terms of just back-to-back quality of content, he had talked about this is going to be a rare sighting of Nitty, and coming off of the A-Ward battle being, I believe, his last, full three-rounder, there was some question, because there was some question, could he even replicate that? Does it get better? And I really think that this build material is on par with his material for A-Ward. From his first, and I don't even know where to really begin with it. His first two rounds specifically are just incredible. He had the Smack, the URL app, Smack Bill bar that, when I quote, one of the more popular bars I've quoted, as well as the Deviled Egg bar. Both of them located on my Twitter, which will be in the description if you guys want to go check out more of the bar-for-bar stuff that was updated throughout the event on my page. But his first and second is chain haymakering. It's not chain punching, it's chain haymakering. And especially in the second round, I mean, he was getting stopped quite literally every bar. And this is what I speak on, where I think Bill was great. Like, I think Bill was really great. But I just think that he was standing in front of another guy who was just at his peak. Wherever it clicks at the top for Nitty, specifically in those first two rounds, it just clicked there. Bill had a great first round, man. But I still had Nitty taking the first round clear. Many people around me did, where they're like, yo, Bill's first was crazy. But it's just not enough. As for the second, Rum Nitty went on to take that clear. Still a very good Bill round. A little bit of a step down from the first, but Nitty's second was a step up. So at that point, it was 2-0, and I think that you get to the third round, Nitty cools off, and it's still a great third, but he cools off just a little bit, and I think Bill takes that round, as I spoke for Bill, and takes the more, having comedy in there, the more entertainer side, more well-rounded. He obviously performed and was entertaining throughout the whole battle, but in the third, he definitely takes some more comedy, and if people do prefer that type of style, maybe there will be an argument that you could give Bill the third round, but even then, I thought Nitty showed separation still with some crazy haymakers, and just an extremely well-written performance, and to me was just the performer of the night, really showed out for his hometown, and overall, just a masterclass by Rum Nitty. So that is my, top 5 here, performers of the night on Traffic 5, and I do believe that this could be a card of the year contender. Like I said, I believe I said earlier in the video, and if I didn't, you're hearing now, it's hard to always gauge in the building, because being in the building can be such a pleasant experience, always, even for events that aren't always the best. So, the atmosphere was good, but I felt like the battles met up to it too. I think you get Sheet and Chaos, which is not a classic, I don't think, but really borderlined it. I mean, definitely one of the top 10 battles of the year. You get Rum Nitty versus Bill Collector, and although I do have Rum with a gentleman's 30, this was another high quality battle with high quality performances from both, winner aside. Chess versus Saint, another great battle. RX versus Yoshi, very solid battle. And then as you get to even the two probably lesser battles of the card, if you're a Loso fan, he had a great showing in a clear 30 over Tink. I don't know if it was a body bag, but it was clear, somewhere in between there. And that's probably the worst footage of it, and you still get a good Loso of the event. And then Jay and None had a pretty solid, debatable. So across the board, a lot of guys, as we talked about here, gave some of their best performances of the year. And even the people that were a little bit lower on the card still gave some of their better work of the year. I just really think that Traffic 5 was booked great stylistically, and the battlers bought into it and were able to match the quality of their material with the quality of the card on paper. So very happy I was able to go to this event. Probably one of my favorite event experiences personally. But let me know what you guys think. Well, you guys can't let me know what you think yet, because the battles haven't dropped. But as they drop, tweet me, like I said, down below in the description is my Twitter, or even just comment on this video and just double back and let me know how you feel about the battle. I'd love to go back and forth, see what the differences were with my in the building recap to what you guys see on cam, and see maybe if there's any disconnect, if we have a difference in opinion on the picks for the battle. But I can't wait for you guys to see this content, and I have plenty of more content coming your guys' way this week. Closure 2 recap I will be doing, Chrome 23 recap also will be getting done this week, and just overall, as we get to this dead sprint at the end, man, Traffic was a success, and I hope that all of URL and other leagues' upcoming events in December follow suit, and we end, on 10 out of 10 for what's been a shaky year. If we end good, we can start 2023 off on a great note. But it's been J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.